It still has some pink on it from the flowers, some browns, but look at the foliage. Burgundy and that fiery orange. This is just beautiful. Hey everyone, hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed your holidays if you celebrate. We're going to do another video inside today because we got massive amounts of rain again last night and it is just way too wet for me to get outside, which kind of makes me unhappy. I do like to be outside, even if it is in the winter time. I still want to be out in my gardens. But today we're going to do a video about the best performers for 2023 in my yard. So we're going to talk about what plants I'm most happy about adding to my gardens in 2023. We have added so many shrubs and trees to our yard this year that I can't even remember everything that we added, but 4 stand out, and those are the 4 we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about 3 that are proven winter varieties, so you should be able to procure these plants no problem should you want to add them to your yard. The runner-up is it's an unbranded plant that also was an outstanding performer for me in my garden this year. So the way we're going to talk about these plants today is I'm going to show you the stats on the Proven Winners website and a different website for the unbranded plant, and then I will show you the plants in my actual garden from clips I had taken previously when I made previous videos. So come garden with me and let's talk about these plants. So the first addition that we're going to talk about is the Little Quickfire Panicle Hydrangea. This is a part sun to full sun plant. It blooms in summer. For me, it started blooming in June, actually while it was still at the nursery in the can. And for me, it went through till about October. So it is a long blooming panicle hydrangea, which is why it's called Quickfire, because it does start earlier than most other panicle hydrangeas. It's called Little Quickfire because it stays smaller than its cousin, Quickfire, which can get 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. This one can get 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, which means it's a perfect size for most gardeners to tuck into their properties. So if you think you want a Little Quickfire hydrangea, great long blooming, low maintenance panicle hydrangea that you can procure directly from the Proven Winner website. They have several different sizes here, or you are probably very able to get this at a local nursery. They are that popular and they are that available. The gardening zone is 3 through 8, so a really tough hardy shrub that most people will be able to use in their gardens. So let's take a look at this now in my garden. You can see the 2 Little Quickfire hydrangeas. One there, getting some mid-afternoon sun. I think it's about 3 o'clock. It was in the shade when we planted it. It'll get sun in the morning, sun in the afternoon. Here's the second Little Quickfire. Again, getting some afternoon sun. But that's okay. I like these lacy cap panicle hydrangeas, and it provides a nice contrast to the other firelight tidbits as you come down this path. So again, these are Little Quickfires, 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, which I think will work nicely here. It won't be too much of a competition in height with the purple pillar Rose of Sharon, which provides a bit of a screen here in this bed. So again, I chose the panicle hydrangeas because they're long blooming and they are really low maintenance, and you just don't have to do anything to them. They're hardy. This little berm here can be a little bit wet, which the hydrangeas will like. Here's the other one. For some reason, this one has a little bit more blooms, but that's okay. You can see, so I showed these 2 in a previous video, maybe the garden tour. This particular plant was putting on new buds, just like this one. This one was a new bud just a week ago, and already it's in bloom. But so you can see we have later blooms, which are the pretty pink. Newer blooms, which are really white. And this one has some white and pink just going. So that is a really nice looking shrub that at this time of the year will have different colored blooms on it. Now, I really don't think of hydrangeas as a fall foliage interest plant. It's not the first thing that comes to mind, but this little quickfire is putting on an autumn show like none of the other hydrangeas are. I mean, it still has some pink on it from the flowers, some browns, but look at the foliage. Burgundy and that fiery orange. So I feel like you have to include some hydrangeas for fall foliage. This is just beautiful. The next addition to my garden in 2023 that I was really impressed with is the Firelight Tidbit. This is another panicle hydrangea that is a part sun to full sun hydrangea. It is going to flower in the summer through the fall. Now this one will start later than the little quickfire, probably late July in my zone, which is zone 7, and it will go through frost again. It is a smaller panicle hydrangea, so if you like the look of limelight, but you don't have the space for a limelight, or even the space for a limelight prime, try tucking in a Firelight Tidbit because they only get 2 to 3 feet tall by 3 feet wide. Again, readily available on the Proven Winner website. Ignore this. They are available on the Proven Winner website, and they are, again, a zone 3 through 8, which means that most gardeners are going to be able to use this in their garden. So again, let's take a look at this in my garden. So the most recent thing that we have planted are these 2 Firelight Tidbit hydrangeas. I recently came across these because we sell them at work, and I think they're absolutely adorable. They're neat, they're tidy, they're small, easy to maintain because they're panicle hydrangeas. You really don't have to do anything with them. So again, these are Firelight Tidbit, 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. I believe they are hardy in zone 4 through 9, might be 5 through 9. But I think they worked perfectly here. Panicle hydrangeas are really, really low maintenance. So that's why I chose to plant these here. And the third plant that I added to my garden this year that I am most impressed with was the Midnight Sun reblooming Weigela. You can see from its foliage, it is not just green, it is multiple colors, which is why I wanted this plant. It is a full sun plant. If you want the beautiful multicolored foliage to be at its most brilliant, you should plant this in full sun. It's reblooming because most Weigelas bloom only in spring. This blooms in spring and summer. Again, it is a tidy little plant that most people will be able to tuck into their gardens, getting only 12 to 18 inches tall and wide. It is easily available on the Proven Winner website. Again, ignore this. That's because I don't have a location chosen. And it is a pretty tough shrub again, hardy from zones 4 through 8. So most gardeners will be able to fit one of these into their garden. So again, let's take a look at this in my garden. Next thing, most recent planting, which obviously I had showed this in a prior video. These are the Midnight Sun Weigela. Small, these are a 1.5 to 2 footer. Again, hardy, I think zone 5 through 9, and I just love the variegation on the foliage. Really pretty colors. So that's another recent planting that I think just lifts the front of the house. The runner-up shrub for me that I added to my property in 2023 that performed really well is the Donica arborvitae. This is a dwarf globe arborvitae that only stays 24 inches by 24 inches tall and wide. I needed a small evergreen, so that's why I chose this. This is a full sun to part shade plant. You are going to want to give this more sun than shade. This is, again, it's an arborvitae, so it's going to want consistent moisture, which is one of the reasons why I chose it, because it is right along my dry creek bed. In times of heavy rain, my dry creek bed can overflow its banks, so I needed something that was going to be able to handle that. Most arborvitaes want consistent moisture. Now, they do not want consistently soggy soil, which this soil on my property adjacent to my dry creek bed is not, but it can be consistently moist, so that is why I chose the Donica arb. It can take a little bit more moisture than a lot of the little globe arborvitaes, although most arborvitaes are going to want consistent moisture anyway. They just don't want to stay in soggy soil. So if you need a small evergreen to tuck into your garden somewhere to provide 4 seasons of interest, the Donica arborvitae is a great choice. So let's take a look at it in my garden. One thing I forgot to mention about the Donica arborvitae, it is an even more tough shrub than the ones I previously mentioned. This is hardy in zone 3A through 9B. So that's pretty much the entire United States. Anyone can tuck one of these into their garden. So let's take a look at it. We will take a look at the Donica arbs, which line the pathway here. This is another addition this year. We had originally planted here the Evergold sedge and kind of just random perennials. I think there was a lot of coneflowers in here, some darling clementine, coreopsis, and over the years we've just had some random other perennials that we had planted here. But I thought, again, to get a more formal look and to add more evergreen interest to my yard, so these are Donica arbs. I chose them because they stay small, globe-shaped. They can take a little bit more moisture than even most arborvitaes. Most arborvitaes want consistently moist soil. The Donica arbs actually can handle even a little bit more moisture. So we have 5 of them here. They will be 3 by 3. These are pretty hardy. I want to say zones 3 through 7 or 3 through 8, but I'll have to double check on that and put it up on the screen. So that was my list of top performing shrubs that I added to my garden in 2023. Do you have any of these in your yard, or are you thinking about adding them in 2024? I'd love to know, so please leave me a comment. Also, if you liked the video and if you found it informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Here's looking forward to spring, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.